Hello, I am Tina Weaver, State AEDY Coordinator for the Department of Education. Welcome to the AEDY SharePoint Site Submitter Training. Please have a copy of the screenshots and the AEDY SharePoint Site Submitter Training packet available in front of you for easy reference as we go through this training. Please be aware that you must have a PDE portal username and password in order to gain access at the end of the training. Please note that when accessing, completing, and submitting an application, the department only supports Internet Explorer versions 7 through 10 for your browser. If you do not use Internet Explorer versions 7 through 10, you run the risk of your application not saving, documents not uploading, and possible other issues associated with the browser. If you are a Mac user, there are separate requirements and you will need to contact me for those specifics. I would like to go over a few highlights before we get started. Remember, an application is required if you are requesting to operate an in-house program for AEDY or you're making placements to other AEDY-approved programs. You are submitting one application for the number of program sites you are requesting. You cannot submit more than one application. An approved AEDY program may be an in-house program at another school district, technical school, or charter school. This would also include in-house programs operated by an intermediate unit. An approved AEDY program may be through a private provider. All approved private providers can be found on the department's website under the K-12 umbrella for AEDY. Please verify that your private provider is listed and that a specific site is approved for that provider by clicking on the provider name. If you do not see your private provider or the specific site, please do not complete your application at this time, since it will be denied. You will need to contact me for verification purposes. If you are placing outside of your own in-house program, you will need to contact the program you will be using and request all information to complete the application. This will include documents that must be attached to the application, such as weekly academic and counseling schedules, formal periodic review, notification of an informal hearing, group counseling documentation, etc. You will have a choice at the end of your application to either save and not submit or to save and submit. If you did not complete all the sections nor attach all documents, then you do not want to submit the application. If you are not certain that your application is complete or your superintendent or executive director must review prior to submission, please save the application and do not submit. Keep in mind that your application fee is made payable to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and is non-refundable. Your application cannot be reviewed until the application fee is received. Upon submission of your application, you will receive a system-generated email message from me indicating the number of programs, the amount of your fee, and an assurance statement for the signature of your superintendent or executive director to be submitted with your payment. We will start with the AEDY SharePoint Site Submitter Training packet. On page 3 of your submitter training packet, you will see the information regarding the Access website in order to use your username and password to log onto the system. That will then give you the home page of the AEDY application. Page 4 will show you the home page. Please ensure to read the directions very carefully, to include the fact that you must use Internet Explorer versions 7 through 10 as your browser. Other browser options are not available through the department at this time. Once you click at the bottom of the page to add your document, you are creating your application. Please have all the information available in front of you to complete your program selections. Page 5 will show you what the very first page is going to look like once you click to create your application. Looking at your screenshots for the application, we will go page by page in order to complete your application. On page 1, you have your program year. That is automatically set, and you cannot switch that at this time. The entity, you would need to click on the down arrow and find your school's name and click on that, and it will pre-populate your AUN number. The primary contact as the AEDY coordinator should be listed under the next section. Please note that there are red asterisks to the right side. Those are mandatory fields and must be completed in order to continue with your application. On page 2, you will continue with the information of your superintendent. Your superintendent must also be registered through the PDE portal in order for their email address to be accepted. Program sites is very important that you know before you continue with the application how many sites you are going to enter. When you click on the down arrow, it will allow you to pre-populate the number of sites to the dollar amount. You will not need to change the dollar amount. It will do it for you. The next section is all the programs that you are going to be using must be listed. You complete that by the name of the program, and you must use the proper name of the approved AEDY private provider if you are using such, as well as the grade levels that they will handle. The program type will be either in-house or private provider, the number of students you are anticipating placing at that specific program, as well as the program contact name, phone number, and email address. Once you have completed the first line, if you need to add more than one program, please click on Insert Another Program, and you will get the next line of the application to submit. Going to page 3, once you have entered all the line items that you need for your programs, you then need to determine whether it is a consortium or an intermediate unit, as well as a private provider. If you are sending students to an approved AEDY program through an intermediate unit, you must place the name of the program, which would be the IU, as well as any other IU members, and the projected number of students for your specific district. Please do not list any other school districts associated with the consortium in your application. Those individuals will be listed on the intermediate unit's application only. Private provider section. If you are using an approved AEDY private provider, you must put in the name of the program, and please be specific to the site, as well as the private provider name, which may be different. The contact person's name, address, is the physical location where the students will be placed, contact number, and email. Again, you will need to click on Add Another Private Provider if you are placing students at more than one private provider. Page 4 will start your program information. You must do program information for each program that you have listed on the front page. The name of the program must be listed at the top of each section. Your first part is informal hearing. You must list in there how the district is running the informal hearing process, and you must attach a copy of the actual informal hearing notification that is sent to the parents or guardians of the student. Section 2, Program Design, will list the exact information for each program, the hours of operation, the total hours of academic and counseling hours combined for the week, and what days of the week the program is operating. Page 5 will continue with consultation, resources, and the violations in which the students are being placed into that specific program. Please check all the boxes for the reasons of your placements. Page 6 will continue with interventions. This is very critical as you must exhaust all interventions prior to placement. Special education section has required wording. If you do not know what the required wording is, please email me and I will get that information to you to add into your application. Program capacity is the number of students that that specific program is approved to hold at one time. Collection analysis of data will also need to be completed. Page 7 is the program academics. The courses of study that are required for AEDY are science, social studies, English, math, and health/life skills. When we review these applications, we will be looking specifically for those 5 major subjects that must be taught. Academic assessments are what assessments are being done in order to gauge the level that the students are completing at this time. Transition. Please explain how you are transitioning the students once they are placed back to their home school. Delivery is whether instruction is going to be done direct by a teacher, on a computer, or blended. Page 8. This lists the teachers that are in the program. If it is an in-house program, you will need to list all of your academic teachers and they must all be certified. If you are listing teachers for a private provider, they do not need to have teacher certification with the exception of the special education teacher. Please ensure to complete each column. If this is a district teacher, you must have the first and last name of the teacher, their PPID number associated to their teacher certification, if they are employed by the LEA, if not, what agency are they from, as well as the subject they are teaching and the exact subject content area of their teacher certification. Please keep in mind that they must hold Pennsylvania certification. We cannot accept certifications from other states, nor can we accept a teacher being hired under a private academic license certificate. Once you complete the first line, you then click on Add Another Teacher until you are done with adding all of your teachers in for this specific program. At that time, you will attach the weekly academic schedule to the program. Page 9 will continue with counseling. The first section, you will list the behavioral assessment or assessments that are used in order to make the determinations for the behavioral goals of the students. The amount of counseling hours that are conducted each week, as well as the type of counseling that is being provided. These are the ones that are listed or ones that are automatically part of a group counseling session. Counseling staff will be handled exactly how you enter teachers. You will have the first and last name of the counselor, as well as their PPID number, whether they are LEA employed, agency employed, contractor employed, and their credential. Please keep in mind that a credential for a counselor must meet the requirements under the current 2013-15 AEDY guidelines. Once you have entered one counselor, if you need additional lines, please click Add Another Counselor until you have exhausted your list. Again, you must attach a weekly group counseling schedule, as well as the documentation of the group counseling. Page 10 is the formal periodic review. According to AEDY guidelines, you must complete these at least twice a year at the end of each semester. You would click on the down arrow and choose the option available to coincide with how you are completing your requirements. Then you would have the documents that you are using to complete the formal periodic review, as well as what assessments are being made, and who are the members of the team reviewing the documents. You then will attach a copy of the formal periodic review form for our review. At this time, if you have more than one program, you must click Add Another Program in order to receive a next section. You will do that for each program that you need to submit. Page 11 will complete your application to either save or submit. The understanding must show whether you agree or disagree with the terms in the instructions and assurance statement. You then have a choice to enter, save, or submit the application. Once you have submitted, you cannot go back and make any changes to your application until it is reviewed and returned to you. Therefore, if you want to look it over before you submit, I would recommend that you click No and then Submit. This will save your application so that you have the ability to edit. If you choose Yes and click Submit, your application cannot be edited and you will receive the system-generated email on your fee and assurance statement. Please make sure you can print the document on one page. You may have to change the font size to do so. Note that once your application is approved, you can make changes at any time by editing your application and submitting for review. Keep in mind that if you add another program, your application cannot be reviewed until the payment is received. This will prevent you from making a placement until you receive the approval. At this time, you have completed the AEDY SharePoint Site Submitter training. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at tiweaver@pa.gov or by calling at 717-783-9298. Remember, to gain access, you must email me the email address associated with your PDE portal username. If you do not have a PDE portal username and password, please access the department's website at www.education.pa.gov. Click on the Help and Contact information in the bottom right corner of the gray box, and then click on Help and Support. You can access the link, How to Register a Username and Log On. There is also a troubleshooting guide available on SharePoint if you are having trouble. You may also email me as the first line of technical support. Thank you for your time and your continued service to ensuring successful AEDY students.